Aloha and shalom. So this is something new here. I'm going to keep this short because my allergies have my nose running, and it's kind of like an unexpected reading. I was asked to do a reading as though COVID were an entity. And as you guys probably see, I never really share anything about COVID, Corona. I don't talk about it. And don't ask me my personal opinions on it, because that's not what this is about. This was a request, and Spirit said yes. I got the intuition to do it, to just go for it. So I'm not questioning it. I'm just going to go for it. So whoever's tuning in for this, I may or may not delete this later today, just because of all the controversy around it. So we'll see what comes up and where Spirit leads. So I'm just shuffling up while you guys tune in. Again, this is just going to be a quick reading. So again, it was requested that I do this reading as though COVID were an entity. So we're going to talk to COVID, because ultimately these cards are personifications or representations of fundamentally operative laws. They represent the energies that are the building blocks of all of reality. So we are, and COVID is, and all things are made up of these guys. So let's get to the roots. Let's get to the roots of COVID. Ooh, we already had an interruption. COVID no likey. Oh, it's funny, guys. You know that very rarely happens. Of course, it happens at the most interesting moments. So let's go ahead and try it again. Okay, let's try, keyword try. So we're talking to COVID. COVID, what is your message for us? Let's get this done. Let's get it quickly done here, okay? What is the message that you have for us, COVID? That's what we're going to ask first. And then the next question we're going to ask is, how are we supposed to respond? How should we respond to you? What's the best way for us to respond to you? Hold on, my hair is caught up around my ankles and around my knees. Okay. So first, going with COVID, what is your message? What is your message? Tell us. What is your message? What's the lesson here? And how can we best respond? COVID says that the lesson is, woo! 7 of Swords. Check out that image. This feels super clear to me. This feels super clear to me. This is the card of deception. First of all, in modern tarot, it is said that the Suit of Swords is air and that Pentacles is earth. However, it's really the other way around. First of all, there are all elements within each of the suits, okay? You can make elemental associations to each of the elements within each suit. However, the priority association with swords is actually earth, because if you think about it, in the mind, all opportunities exist. There is limitless potential within the mind. So not only do we have challenges within the mind, my battery is low, we also have the solutions. So the Suit of Swords, which represents hardships and challenges, is really earth. And then Pentacles would really be mind, because the value of those coins or that gold is first determined in the mind. It's determined at the root. So again, the Pentacles can be seen actually as air, and the swords can be seen as earth. So with that out of the way, this having to do with the earthly suit, the earth element, and challenges, it's all about navigating challenges carefully. Sort of like walking on eggshells. Check out how he's tiptoeing. He's looking over his shoulder, watching his back. He's navigating wisely. So if this is the message from Corona, keyword being deception, it's telling us, like, guys, remember, there are always going to be challenges on earth, and all we could do is do our best. All we can do is navigate this as wisely as possible to the best of our ability. Do your best, let God do the rest. So be aware that there are always going to be deceptions in this life. It's a part of this human experience. And that's beautiful. Because if it's not Corona, COVID, whatever, it's always going to be something else. Don't be afraid to say the C word, you guys, okay? What are you afraid of? Really look at that. See how maybe you're deceiving yourself. How are we being deceived not only by others who are really just the self, but how are we deceiving ourselves in the end? Because it's all one. There's only one here. There's no other. So how are we allowing ourselves to be deceived by information on any side of this game? Stay true to yourself. Know what your truth is, know what your values are, know what your morals are, what your beliefs are, and then stick to them, live by them fiercely. Do not waver, stay in your center. A message that comes with this is, how are you living so much in your truth that you don't have to look over your shoulder? You don't have to be worried about what's behind you, because that karma catching up is only blessings, because you're taking care of your shit and you're doing the best that you can. And if you're truly doing your best, like I said, God do the rest, then you don't have to keep worrying. You don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, looking around you. Oh my God, somebody coughed. Do your best and chill out. Know everybody's doing their best with where they're at. Even when somebody, by your egotistical judgment, seems totally out of line, even if somebody seems ignorant and uneducated, are you really going to sit there and dwell on that? Then how do you look? Then how are you taking or not taking accountability for your own self? Know this, that even if somebody looks completely ignorant, or if you feel like, damn, that person's being rude about this COVID thing, or that person's not handling it correctly, okay, well, it's what it is. It's what it is. It's how they are doing it. So you're going to sit there and be so upset about how that person is handling it? Or are you going to go, this person is doing the best from where they're at? Not just from, a physical or material perspective, but from a spiritual perspective, from an energetic perspective. This is how they're showing up, because this is how God intended them to. Because if they are showing up that way, nothing's outside of divine order, and that's how the F they are meant to show up. So, accept it. That's it. So the message from COVID is, there's a lot of deception going on, and it's not about the COVID. It's not about the material manifestation, because whatever you see on the material plane is the effect of an underlying cause. So what is the cause of all this deception? Perhaps our inability to stay in our center and stay rooted in our truth and continue on our path in actualizing that truth. Standing firm in that truth. Deception. Navigate this challenge, swords challenge, as wisely as possible, and that's it. Do your best, God do the rest. Tread carefully. Okay, the 8 of Swords, which comes next, you always want to look at the following cards and know, like, where am I headed? What am I walking into? The succeeding card, 8 of Swords, looks like a woman trapped in all these bandages, but they're pretty loose, and there are swords all around her. And any moment, she can reach outside of those bandages and take a sword and cut herself free. And that message is all about, we trap ourselves. We keep ourselves trapped with anxiety, with fear about whatever challenge we're going through. We trap ourselves. So are you going to head in that direction? Or are you going to recognize where you maybe have already been doing that, and you're going to set yourself free right now from that false prison, that illusory prison? To continue the story, 7, 8, then the 9 of Swords looks like waking up from a nightmare, waking up from the anxiety and the victimization. And then the 10 of Swords is killing that thought program once and for all. Ending the challenge because you're liberating yourself within your own mind and within your own heart first. And then that manifests without as a reflection of the freedom and liberation within. So deception is our card. COVID says, this is my lesson, you guys. I'm showing you that there's always going to be challenges in life. And guess what? It doesn't matter what the challenge is. You still have to show up in all the same ways. You still have to respond in all the same ways. Your values, your beliefs, your morals are still what they are. And it doesn't matter how your fear is manifesting. And right now, our collective fear is manifesting as me, this COVID. That's what it's saying. And again, it's telling you it doesn't matter how it's manifesting on the outside. It's still calling you to rise up in your power and respond in the ways that you know you have to. Do your best to navigate this challenge. Be kind, be compassionate, be in your truth so that you don't have to look over your shoulder every 2 seconds in fear that you're going to get coughed on, or that there's going to be a world war. So what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. We still have to do what we have to do. The answer is always the same. Live your truth. Be in your truth. Be honest. Be patient. Be kind. Be respectful. Be generous. Be in service. These are all the same things. Whenever you don't know what to do, how do I respond to COVID, or how do I respond to blank, whatever it is, you know what to do. Look to your virtues. Still the same old thing. Timeless solution. Okay. And then speaking of solution, the second card and the final card is the answer to the question, how do we best respond right now to you, COVID? Woo! Look at this, you guys. The Six of Swords. Ah! The Six of Swords, which comes right before the Seven. It's saying, remember this, guys. Wow. Wow. That's why I go live, so y'all don't think I'm cheating here with this magic. We're doing this together. We made this happen. Thank you for joining me so that the message could be so clear. The Six of Swords is a rite of passage. Moving to the other side, getting past the hardest part of the challenge. Moving on to smoother waters. So COVID is saying, what can you do best right now? No, this is going to pass. This too shall pass. This is the message of this card. The hardest part has already... Stop expecting this to come in another round, in another wave. You're calling it in then. Stop waiting for this thing, and this is COVID speaking, right? So it's saying, stop waiting for me to do more damage. You're expecting it. Well, if you're expecting it, then you're sowing the seeds of that. It's saying, envision the opposite. Hello? Tip the scales. Neutralize this shit. See yourself on the other side of this. It's what's already happening. It's inevitable. So let's do this together. Let's hold a vision of being on the other side of this. Let's collectively know and make it so that the hardest part has already happened. This has been a rite of passage for us. We've done the hardest part. So let's envision now getting to the other side. We are all of these characters, the woman, the man, and the child. These are different aspects of all of us. And together, we're making this journey to the other side. We're rowing the boat for each other. We're helping each other. We're taking turns rowing that boat to the other side. We're also taking turns resting because we all need it. And remaining in our innocence through this challenge, knowing that we have everything we need within us to get through it, as always. So it's very clear. Here's the message summarized from COVID, okay? We asked COVID to show up for this reading as though it was an entity. And we asked, COVID, what is your message for us? Deception. Stop getting so consumed by the outside manifestation as COVID, right? COVID saying, don't just look at me. Look at why I'm here. Look at me as a challenge, representing all challenges that are inevitable on the path traveling through time and space. And know that you're always meant to respond the same. Do your best to navigate this challenge. Don't cut corners. Stay in your truth and follow the virtuous path so that you don't have to keep watching your back, so that you know you're doing your best and there's nothing more you can do. When you make decisions in confidence and you carefully navigate a challenge, you think each thought, you say each word, you take each step with conviction so that you don't have inner conflict, so that you don't doubt yourself as you're taking those steps, that you don't stumble and fall through it. So you walk powerfully through it, so you're able not only to carry yourself through this, but the collective, because we're leaning on each other. And then COVID says, what's the best thing you can possibly do right now to begin navigating this wisely and moving through the deception? Six of Swords. See yourself on the other side already. Stop expecting more to happen. Stop expecting it to be worse. Stop giving in to the fear. And begin to feel good here now, knowing this too shall pass, as all things do. Also, 6 is connected to the 6 of the trump cards, the major arcanum card, the Lovers, aka the two paths. It's all about choice. You can see yourself on that other side. You could see yourself having gone through the worst of it and start encouraging a new beginning. Or you can see yourself stuck, and there you'll stay. Choice. Choose to know that this too shall pass, because that's the law. All right, you guys, that's your message from COVID today. Thank you for joining me on my first ever video or post in general about COVID, because I don't talk about it at all. And while I have you guys here, for those of you who like my style of tarot, know this: I'm not here to just do readings for you. I'm here to show you how to do these readings yourself. I do weekly classes on Zoom. They've been awesome. We are at card 19 tomorrow. The class is going to be on the Sun card. These classes are 60 to 90 minutes long, and they're super fun. And what's shared in these classes you can't find in a book, you can't find online. Everybody gets a chance to share at the end of the class, and the perspectives are incredibly transformative, and I learn so much. Otherwise I wouldn't even be doing these classes. So join us, reach out, let me know you want the link for tomorrow. As I said, all the classes are recorded, so if you want to start from the very beginning, a lot of students are actually from all around the world and are on different time zones, and so they do the recorded classes at their own pace. So if you want to do this, reach out, ask me how you can start taking the classes. It's super easy to get started. Also, you guys, don't forget my book, The Royal Path. If you go on Amazon and you type in The Royal Path Activating, the book will come right up. You can also order it directly from me. And if you do, you'll get one of these awesome handmade bookmarks that I make in my very little spare time. So I love to send out copies from my hands to yours. And then one more thing, I've got a private group on Facebook called The Royal Path. It's where students share in between classes, and also just fabulous people meet there and share insights that are helpful to the hive mind, the collective mind. It's not just like a bunch of memes, like it's actually really helpful stuff as far as archetypal awareness and actualization, global transformation, paradigm shift. And then also we have a private group called Shabbat Crew. And every week on Fridays, I share a little bit about the mystical meaning of the current Torah story. This is not just for Jews, it's for anybody who wants to join and understand the deeper meaning of life. And then we started doing these super awesome Friday night hangouts, virtual hangouts on Zoom, where whoever wants to join can just click the link, which will be shared in the Shabbat Crew group. And we just hang our insights as far as the Torah story. And so it always comes down to a specific moral or lesson, and we all share how we're relating to it. So it's kind of a cool way to connect with other like-minded people, because so many of us are isolated around the world. We don't have that tribe, and so I wanted to create an opportunity for us to be able to gather, at least virtually, to have these elevated conversations on Shabbat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this message. I appreciate you. I will see you on Friday for our virtual hangout if you join us. And if not, I'll see you on Saturday for the next activation. You know, these activations happen every single week for years now. It'll be the full moon activation. If you want to see more of those activations, if you've never heard of them before, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RebeccaMagic. Hit subscribe so you don't forget to tune into the activations. They happen live here every week on Facebook, and then they get moved to YouTube. Check it out. If you have any questions, reach out anytime. Aloha. Mahalo, shalom, salam. Peace.